Hi, Susan. This is Sarah from Flourish at Artisan Indie, and I'm critiquing your Etsy shop today, Windflower Market Co. So how this works is I'm going to go through your shop, and there are certain areas that I like to pay attention to because they either affect the back end side of things like algorithms and statistics. And then I will also kind of key in on some areas that will affect the customer's user experience in your shop. And I find that when companies, there are companies out there that will critique websites, and I feel like they do one or the other. They don't touch on both. And to have a successful e-commerce business, truly, you need to worry about both just as equally. So you need to know things like SEO, things like pricing, policies and shipping and all that kind of back end stuff. But you also need a strong customer service experience in the front. You need great photography, great design. And so if you kind of master both of those areas, there's really only up for you to go. I mean, it really is the perfect combination to be able to sell successfully online. And this doesn't really matter if it's a shop on Etsy or your own website or even social media. You have a good combination of front end and back end optimization, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at your shop. My first impression, without really scrolling too much, is a good one. So that is super important. Unlike businesses that are in a physical space where customers can, walk in the store and maybe they don't really like it so much right off the bat. Maybe it smells funny. Maybe some signage is missing. Maybe it's messy. The likelihood of them turning around and walking outside to get back in their car to drive to another store, which could be a mile or two or more away, they'll probably just deal with things that maybe don't feel so comfortable, right? Because they're there and they're looking for something. Online stores are a lot different. Within a second or less, I can click out of your shop into somebody else's. So really, it is so important to have a good first impression with your e-commerce buyer or customer. So right away, the first impression, as I said before, was a good one. For a couple reasons. One, your logo is nice and clean. It's recognizable. It's not confusing. It's not distracting. You're the Windflower Market, makes sense. Also, you have a picture of yourself here, a very beautiful picture. It looks, you look happy, you look inviting. In this picture, you look professional. So that is a very good, makes me feel very good, kind of gives me a good feeling as well. The pictures that I'm seeing right off the bat in your featured area, I really like that you chose 3 instead of 4. I like the 3 setup because the pictures are larger. It definitely kind of gives me this kind of instant idea of what kind of store I'm in, what you sell, what you offer, what kind of feeling I can expect as I scroll on. Now, if I was turned off by this in any way, shape, or form, I would just simply click up here to the search bar or my back button up here, which is out of the screen for the recording, to get back to my search. So right off the bat, you've done something right. Now, the only thing that I would critique in this section as far as a sales coach or an Etsy coach is the fact that you don't have a banner. And now having a banner, not having a banner, I'm obviously very much for using every space that a platform gives you for reasons of they tend to lean towards bumping sellers in search a bit if you're using all their features. And also, I like to think of the banner on an Etsy shop or even on a website as kind of the sign that should be above your door if you were to have a physical store. What you want to do with this banner is you want to attract your target market in. You want to be able for them to see you, to see your name, maybe a tagline, get a good feeling about what you are. to know if they're where they want to be. Now you kind of do that with your pictures here. And also, if I would have seen your name, Windflower Market, I think I would have thought of perhaps a greenhouse or a florist or, something like that. So I think you kind of dispel that right off the bat with these pictures. So, should you have a banner? Should you not? If there's a valid reason why you don't want to have a banner, it's fine, because your pictures are well done, well lit, and they give off a feeling. But I think that adding a banner would be probably a good thing. Just because if I am a customer and I am looking through many different Etsy shops and everyone has a banner, and then I click on your shop and you don't, just that little shift, they may not even know what's missing, but it will look and feel differently than other Etsy shops. Now, that could be a good thing, make you stand out, but as a coach, I would probably recommend that you put that banner in. But if you don't, I really don't think it's going to hurt too much. I don't think it'll hurt at all, honestly. Your shop looks really nice. This is called Above the Fold. It's before I have to scroll. It's very clean. It looks very nice. The only thing, if I were to have something to critique, would be to add the banner in. Okay, now let's talk about these featured section. Well, one, you do want to do what you're doing. You want to make an impression. You want to impress the viewer, the user that's on the computer searching for something, which you've done. Those are beautiful pictures, fantastic pictures, if you ask me. They're actually pictures I would see in a magazine. And this is exactly what you should be doing, is having phenomenal photography, because that will push you above your competition on Etsy. Now, that being said, you do want these photos to change. They don't need to change every day, every week, every 2 weeks even, but you want them to change seasonally. So right now, it looks like you have kind of a farmhouse wall decor, which is very on trend right now. Oh my goodness gracious, come back. Let's see, there it is. Sorry about that. These iMacs, I tell ya. All right, the middle picture is very seasonal, because right now we're in the thick of wedding season, so that's appropriate. And then you have rustic bathroom wall decor, which is really cool, and like everyday stuff, so that's fine. I would say that if you are a seasonal shop, meaning if you mainly sell wedding things, I would probably fill this with wedding stuff. Perhaps you got to think of the seasons that we're in. Spring is coming. We have spring break coming. We have Easter. We have St. Patrick's Day just passed. Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation, things like that. So if you have anything that you sell that would fit in there, it would be good to put them up in this featured section. Also, then when it comes summertime, you switch those photos out to something more summery, family vacation, lake, maybe if you have a lake house or a cabin sign, something that people would be doing in the summer, things like that. And then in the fall, do the same thing. And so as you kind of do this, your customers, at least repeat customers, people that visit your shop more than once, which they should, will notice that, and that'll kind of give them a little like, I wonder what Susan has that's new today, or new this month, or new this season, or I wonder what collection she's come out with. It just kind of keeps things nice and fresh so that it doesn't kind of stay stagnant. Now, you may already do this. That's the one thing about these critiques, is they're very one-sided. I don't know much about you. I don't know about what you already do, so I just kind of want to show you and go through the points that do make a difference. Now, I like that you have this announcement, but let me tell you that the likelihood of somebody reading this part and then clicking this is very, very low. This is really something Etsy should change. I wish they would change it. You really want to use this space to type up one line that's going to grab their attention. Now, it doesn't really get that much of attention, so it's not something you have to put a lot of worry into, but this is a perfect place for you to guide your customers somewhere else. Now, I don't know if you have your own website. I hope you do. If you don't, I hope you consider making one, as you don't want to depend on Etsy alone for your income with this business, because it's being on a marketplace, it's their platform and it can change at any time. So you don't want to really be at their mercy. This is what I recommend my clients to advertise their website. Hey, do you like what you see? Check out our website at www.windflowermarket.com or whatever it is, windflowermarketco.com, and get 20% off your first purchase. Now, that is not against Etsy's rules. So a lot of people think that. I'm not really sure why. Etsy doesn't want you to take a customer that's contacted you on an item that they've found on Etsy and then you reply saying, oh, I give it to you cheaper on my website. They don't want you to do that, obviously, but you are more than welcome to advertise your website on your shop here. Now, it won't be clickable, but like I said, this isn't a huge area of interest, and a lot of times people are scrolling fast and they go right by it, right? But one line where you have a web address will catch their attention. Another thing that you can put here, if you don't have a website, you can put your social media address. Visit us on Facebook at blah, blah, blah. Now, yes, there is places that have social media buttons, but most of those get ignored. So you could do that. Let's say that you're going to have a wedding season sale, or you're going to announce a new collection, or you're going to have a Black Friday sale, whatever. If you have any kind of special promotion or a coupon code you want to give out, you can also put that here. Again, try to make it only one line. If it's a bunch of text, and really this space only gives you about 2 before you have to click to open it, it just doesn't, it kind of becomes a blur. So you can just say, hey, get 20% off for our Memorial Day sale or whatever. Use coupon code, blah, 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 blah. You could even say click below for more information if you want, if you have a lot more information to say. So that is that. Now let's go down to your items. All right, this right here. Oh, you know what I didn't look at? This line. This is pretty good. I do want to tell you this line right here. It doesn't really hold a lot of weight for Etsy's search algorithm, but as far as Google is concerned, this line is very important. This is the line that they will show in a Google search right after your name. So you have wooden signs and rustic home decor. That's fabulous. That looks like what you make. Those are nice, strong keywords that will definitely be searched. So I think you did great there. A lot of sellers, they don't put that there. They put the tagline of their company, which again, if you had a banner, that's where the tagline should be. This line should be more keywords. Now, I think when you're building your Etsy shop and you're prompted to put something in here, I believe that Etsy does call this space your tagline, but don't pay attention to that. Just make sure you have strong keywords, which you do. So that's fabulous. This is another area that keywords are important. And it looks to me like your category titles are pretty keyword strong. I'm really impressed. And the reason why I say this is a lot of sellers, they'll just say, okay, well, these are signs. And then they have so much in their signs, or they'll have like weddings, farmhouse, bathroom, but they won't say what it is. You're doing a great job at putting, yes, these are signs, but what kind of signs? They're motivational signs. These are all rustic arrow signs. So I really don't have anything to say to change here, except you do want to go from the smallest or shortest keyword down to the longest, which you're pretty much doing a little. There's a couple that could get switched around. You want that just for ease of reading so that it's not choppy. People's eyes aren't going back and forth. Again, yours is really subtle right now, but as you add more, you want to pay attention to that. So you want it the shortest to the longest, which looks like would be bathroom and dental decor. Now that's interesting. I guess that's where you do brush your teeth. So, okay. 63 items is a good amount of items. I would say that, anywhere between 60 and 100 is a-okay. Sometimes I've seen sellers with 5, 6, 7, 800 items. I think that's crazy. And I don't think that that is appropriate for Etsy, in my opinion. I have also seen shops with under 30 items, and I think that's way too little to have a shop online. Although I know many successful people that sell 24 and 28 items in their shop. But I really like to see between 60 and 100. So I think you're right now in the sweet spot. You do have room to add a little bit more, but I really wouldn't I really wouldn't go less unless you have something in your shop that it's just there as a filler. You don't want that either. You do want to have items that sell in your shop. We're going to skip over your listings right now, and we are going to go down to your About section. And this is an extremely important section. And you might think, well, do people really read this section? And, some don't. There are many that don't, but the ones that do matter. And it's not just about the buyers or the customers that are in your shop looking at your About section. It's so much more than that. Do you know that TV stations and TV shows like the Today Show and like the Ellen Show, and many magazines like HGTV or the Brides magazine. There's another one. Which one is it? Not Martha Stewart. I can't think of who it is, but there are people that are, these companies employ people just to go through Etsy shops because they want something for a segment, or an article or a blog. They're looking for unique stories. They're looking for something that will attract their viewers, obviously, right? So it's important that you fill out this section properly. Now, this is a slideshow. All right. I don't know why. It looks like you only have one picture in here. So let's talk about that for a minute. This About section needs to be about you. It needs to be about you and your business. It needs to be about your kind of like what you're inspired by. What got you started doing what you do? What do you love about it? What are you passionate about? Maybe showcase pictures of you and your family or you and your pets. You are a handmade business and that's what you're selling. And you're on Etsy because of that. You're not just some reseller selling on Amazon, right? You're not some reseller with a, 1 in a million websites. No, you are a crafter. You're a craftsman or a craftswoman, I guess I should say. You're an artist and you make this, comes from your hands in your space, maybe your garage, maybe your dining room, maybe your backyard. You can't replicate that. That is so unique and authentic. And that's what you have to showcase here. You want to show pictures of your workspace. You want to show pictures of the materials that you use or the supplies that you use or the tools that you use. If you're cutting wood with a saw, I want a picture of that on this page. That is what adds value to your products. I can go get a sign that says flush or eat or laundry or gather anywhere. Seriously. It's like signs are everywhere. And I'm a big sign person, so I am very much your target market. I would value a handmade sign and I would pay more if I saw pictures of the maker actually making it. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want to showcase here. Also, I'd like to support small businesses. I like to support family-run businesses. So seeing a picture of you and your family or the way that you make something will make things so much more valuable for me. It's a story I want to tell. It'll be something I want to share. Instead of me going to the store, buying a sign for $7, bringing it home, hanging on the wall, someone coming over, I'm just not even going to say anything, right? But if I go to a shop and I see a maker making something, or building something, or I see a picture of you with your children or your cute dogs or whatever, and I read your story and I buy something from you, when I get that, I'm not just going to throw the wrapper away and throw it on a wall and walk away. I'm going to think about that sign differently. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm going to treasure it a little bit more. And if somebody comes over and says, oh my gosh, I like your sign, I'm going to go, oh, thanks. You're not going to believe this woman, Susan, she makes these signs out of her dining room or of her garage, and she has the cutest pets. And oh my God, you got to check out her shop, right? I mean, you might think that's silly, but that's not silly. That's how it happens. And that's how word of mouth becomes a thing. So you want to sell that. It's so important. Your story is just as important as your product pictures when it comes to handmade selling. Okay? All right. So definitely. And also, real quick before I go, because you can have 5 pictures here. This picture scares me. I'm just letting you know, even though this is cute and pink and all of that. You have what looks like a doctor's face mask, which makes me think of surgery or the ER. You have this, which looks like a gas mask of some sort, which definitely gives me nightmares. This obviously is headphones, but they look pretty heavy duty, which makes me think of a gun range, which I'm not a fan of. And then, you have these sunglasses here. So even though you're saying safety first, I go from this really pretty kind of shabby chic, cottage chic shop down to, a horror picture. And please, I'm not being mean. I'm actually trying to be funny and a little blunt, but this is not the picture you want to showcase when we're talking about you and your business. It's great to show that, hey, the stuff I use is pretty serious stuff, but you can show that like you wearing the mask while you're cutting wood or while painting or something like that. You don't want to just kind of show these tools on these nails that make somebody maybe think of a scary movie. Don't hate me. Okay. So I love that you have your social media links here. That's fantastic. And you have the top 3. These are the 3 that I recommend the most. Now, just touching on that, I know it's kind of more than just your shop, but you want to make sure that you're spending time on the social media site where your target market hangs out. If you're not getting a lot of interaction and if you feel like the demographic for your stuff is not on Instagram, it's good to have a representation on Instagram, but don't think that you have to spend a lot of time there. I know that a lot of makers sometimes spin their wheels when it comes to social media, and you really only need to spend time on the one that's going to bring you business. You know what I mean? All right, let's go back up. Oh my gosh, I'm so your target market. It's going to be hard for me. I love it all. I tell you, I love it all. Aww. Okay. For the most part, I think your photography is fantastic. I think if you've done this, you've done a phenomenal job. If you've hired someone to do it, whoever that is, they have done a phenomenal job. There are a couple and a few that I don't think is too that definitely could probably get changed out. I'm sure you know what those are. They're probably old listings that you haven't changed the photography out. It looks like this one right here. Horrible lighting, and I know, like, how are you going to get good lighting in a bathroom? Like, it's impossible. And I'm not a big fan of these either. Although the lighting is not so bad, I would rather see this Choose Love just laid onto the slats, probably take the wreath out and then crop it in a bit. Your shop is very neutral, heavy, which I love. You got whites and creams and browns in here, which is beautiful. It definitely goes with the clean branding that you see up here. This is just a stunning picture here. So these are the green really throws the shop off. This throws the shop off. I would take this completely down until you could get a better picture of this sign. Like if I love this. This is fantastic. So if you could get this one in this setting, you'd be good to go. But it's hurting your shop being there. So I wouldn't leave it up just so in case you could get a sale. You have all of these gorgeous pictures. This is making your shop look bad right here. Okay, sorry if you hear noise. My cat is being ornery right now. But for the most part, I give you 2 thumbs up for your pictures. I really do. They're fantastic. They all kind of flow together. Super cute. These are kind of meh, but what are you gonna do? But they're not as bad as this one. This one really needs to go. Okay, so for the most part, yeah, your pictures are awesome. I always tell people you can always improve your photos. It's hard to, and the reason why I say that is because even if you have phenomenal modeled shots, times change, trends change, decor changes. So it's always good to update, every couple of years anyway, unless it's horrible and then you want to change it right away. I'm also sorry if you hear my dog barking. I really have a farm at my house, to be honest. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I love all your stuff. Wonderfully talented you are, for sure. Oh, I just realized this is a wreath. I'm confused. Is it a sign or is it a wreath? Wreaths with signs. I'm confused. Okay, so it's a wreath that you hang and the sign is in front. Is that what it is? I'm sorry, now I'm embarrassed. Okay, I don't know. I would want to see this on a door because this to me looks like a sign and you're just laying it on a wreath. I think if it were me, and this could just be my opinion, so please don't take it as anything negative, but in my opinion, if I were to buy a wreath with a sign on it, I would want, one, the wood to be a lot smaller, so maybe something to fit just maybe right here. And two, I would want whatever word or whatever saying would be on the sign, I would want it to be much bigger because this would only be visible if you were literally right in front of it. Now, I mean, you can totally just throw my opinion out because you may have a market for these, but that is my initial impression. I really thought that these were signs that you were just photographing on a wreath. I didn't realize it was a wreath with a sign on it. So that's just my 2 cents. Okay, your pricing, it looks like you're ending in 95 cents, which is fantastic. That's exactly where you want to be. 99 cents works well as well, but not for something that's kind of more boutique-ish. In other words, your signs are kind of, I really need to find a word for this feeling. They're more luxury, and luxury really is not the word that I'm looking for. It's like boutique. It's not something you would find in a dollar store. It's not something you find in a department store. It's something that's a little nicer than that, right? And you're showing, you know, these wonderful, beautiful pictures of these homes with beautiful decor. So 99 cents, although it works as far as encouraging people to buy it, I think in this case, 95 is best for you. I definitely think it fits well. Now, something I am noticing, and I'm sure your variations may be a variable in this pricing, but you want to make sure that you're pricing in either $5 or $10 increments, anything over $19.95. So if you have something, you go from $19.95, you need to jump from $19.95 to $24.95, and then if it needs to cost more than $25, then you want to jump to $29.95. And let me tell you why that's important, because the same person that's gonna and these please know this is not just my opinion. I have 25-30 years experience in selling and marketing, and especially in e-commerce, and I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books and articles and blogs, and I've attended a ton of seminars to learn about the psychology of pricing when it comes to commerce, about the psychology of a buyer when they're shopping online, et cetera, and et cetera. So I want to put it out there that this is not just my opinion. This has actually been studied time and time and time again. Certain price points do encourage the buyer to buy, to actually add to their cart and check out. So the buyer, if they want this sign, I'm using the bad picture as an example. I'm sorry. Here, let's use this one because it's just so pretty. And so let's say you're saying, hey, this sign is worth more than $25, so I'm going to price it at $27.95. But studies have shown that if you really like this sign and you want to buy it, you want it in your house, you're already visualizing it and picturing it in your bathroom, right? Instead of if you had this priced at $29.95, they would still buy it. Do you see what I mean? So, and this is mainly for Americans. We were taught when we were in school to round, right? Round up, round down. So for us in our mind, this sign is under $30. It doesn't matter if it says 27 or 29 or 28 or 26. They're going to buy it if they want it. Now, let's say that in their mind, under $30 is too much, right? They really want to be under 20 or under 25. Then they won't buy it. But anything between $24.95 and $29.95 is all the same as far as the psychology, subconscious of the person shopping. So why leave that money on the table? You know what I mean? So you don't want to be at $27.95. Now, I haven't clicked in this listing. You may say, Sarah, it's $27.95 because when you go in, there's going to be variations that are going to change that price. That's fine. Then you need to mark the price down to $24.95 or mark it up to $29.95 and let the variations have extra sales anyway. So trust me when I say that's what you want to do. So anything over $19.95, you know, it's a $5 increment, go $19.95, $24.95, $29.95, $34.95, $39.95, so on and so forth, all the way up to wherever you want to go. Now, me personally, I think that once you hit $50, it doesn't matter in $10 increments. I don't really usually see people going, well, I wanted to spend under $65. Usually they'll say I want to spend under 75, or they'll say I want to spend under 100, or, you know, I don't really want to pay more than $80 for it. So you could really stay after $49.95. You could go in $10 increments, $49.95, $59.95, $69.95, so on and so forth. So these 22s, that needs to be $19.95 or $24.95. Now, to be honest, most people underprice when it comes to handmade selling. I think your prices are pretty online, but I do think you could bump this up to $24.95. This should go up to $39.95. All right. I know I'm taking forever. I'm sorry. Let's click into this listing. I kind of like it. All right, good for you for having wedding decor. I think you could have more wedding decor in your shop. My previous handmade business was a wedding decor gift and favor shop. So it's kind of my thing. I was also into rustic weddings. That was my theme of my shop. And I think your stuff's fabulous. You know, signs for the wedding industry are definitely popular. They've been popular for a few years now, and I really don't see them stopping. So something just as an idea, as a quick product idea, having some kind of signage telling people to turn off their technology, that they can resume it after this ceremony. That seems to be a pretty popular thing right now, as well as not using your camera. So you might want to check that out. So let's talk about SEO. You have rustic bride, groom, wedding sign, rustic wedding, reception decor, wedding decoration, bride sign, wooden sign, rehearsal dinner. All right, let's take a look at that for a minute. Okay, so SEO. Normally when I do these critiques, I'm super confident in speaking on SEO. I have a ton of experience with it, but the one thing about SEO is it's always changing. And although the last 3 years, it's been pretty much the same, a little change here, a little change there, nothing too major. This year, I have my antennas up, if you will. I think that a lot's going on behind closed doors as far as changes that Etsy is wanting to make, the testing that they've been doing. They really haven't announced anything publicly, so you know, I read through the SEO section on their seller handbook every week to kind of determine if any verbiage has changed, if there's new announcements that have been made. So right now, I think your SEO is good. You know, what you want to do for Etsy SEO and that search engine optimization, you want to optimize your Etsy shop on the back end so that you can alert the search engine to place your shop under the searches that the customers will make looking for what you sell. Boy, that was a mouthful. So if someone's searching for a rustic bride and groom sign, you want to be seen. If someone's searching for wedding reception decor, you want to be seen. A bride sign, wooden sign. So you definitely want to be seen for these. And these are keywords, and you're using long tail keywords. So you're using rustic bride, groom, wedding sign. That is a nice long tail keyword. I really feel like Etsy's wanting to go in the direction of Google, that they're wanting to only use short one-line titles, kind of like you see on websites and stuff. And I feel like they're going to be using their attributes and the tags more heavily along with the keywords that are placed in your copy. But that is just speculation. That's just my opinion. And like I said, they haven't announced anything yet. So don't go changing that until they announce it. But that's what I foresee. So The key is you really want the most relevant keywords at the front of your titles. So this is considered the title section. You have a rustic bride groom wedding sign. So I think that's excellent. I might turn it around and say bride and groom rustic wedding sign. That may be what I would do, because I think that's kind of, I don't know, rustic bride, maybe. But don't, if it's working for you and you're getting views, don't even worry about it. It's fine. Also, you have rustic wedding reception decor, which is good. Wedding decoration. Now, the one thing that I don't see here is when I see these signs, I think of when the bride and groom are sitting in the reception, they're sitting at the sweetheart table or the head table, that they have a bride and groom sign on their chair. Now, I don't know if this is one sign that wraps around or if it's two separate signs, but even so, I still would think the bride and groom sign would be at that table. And if it is, I definitely would have on here sweetheart table decor, sweetheart table signs. Let's search and see. And as I'm typing this, see sweetheart table decor, sweetheart table sign. That's definitely, didn't I just say that? I'm good. All right, now let's look. Head table decor, head table sign right there. Head table decoration wedding. So if I push head table decor, which is a little bit more broad than head table sign, let's see what comes up. My lovely internet. See, Mr. and Mrs. There's Mr. and Mrs. signs, Mr. and Mrs. Oh, I see. We have lovely clumping. That's frustrating. Those are really pretty. Mr. and Mrs., Mr. and Mrs. Where's bride and groom? Lots of Mr. and Mrs. So we have clumping happening, which is something that Etsy is known for. It's frustrating. Nothing you can do about it. Just kind of hopefully the customers recognize that and they keep scrolling or they keep clicking the pages. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Well, I don't see bride and groom, but it should be up here. See, better together. These are what I'm thinking, like chair signs, right? There, bride and groom. So I definitely think that your bride and groom sign should be in this section. Now let's look and let's change this to head table signs. Hopefully we won't have the same clumping issues. And we do. Oh my goodness. Bride and groom, see? I think your signs are beautiful, and I think your signs would fit wonderfully here. So that's something I would probably do. So let's talk about that for a second. I know I am going on. We're going on to 40 minutes. Holy moly. Let's go back to your page. So what I like to say to clients is you want to put your most relevant descriptive keyword phrase in the front, like we already talked about that, right? Then what do you want to do? Well, you want to say, okay, this is what it is. Now, this is what it could be used for, right? And this is what it could be gifted for. So this obviously could be a wonderful bridal shower gift, engagement party. Well, you probably wouldn't know, but a bridal shower gift would be good. So you might want to put that in there, or even a wedding gift, especially if it was something more personalized. So you don't have to spend the whole description describing what the sign is. You want to do that in the first keyword or two, right? The first keyword phrase or two, I should say. Then what it could be used for, and then what it could be gifted for. Because people, the shoppers that are on here are not just the brides looking for a bride and groom sign. There are bridesmaids and sisters and aunts and moms and friends that are wanting to gift things, or that are looking for, let's say your maid of honor is the one that's looking to, decorate the whole event for you. Like that's her job and that's what she's doing. Then she's on here looking for, oh, I need, wedding reception decor, which you have up here, which is good. But that's why. Also remember that the copy is already in play, and it will even have a further in the future importance. So you want lots of good keywords in here. I won't read it all, but just make sure that you do. All right. Okay. So I think that's it. Just kind of covered everything. For the most part, I think your shop is fabulous. I think that it's gorgeous. beautiful. I love your photos. Your SEO looks really good. There's a couple little teeny tiny things that you need to change. Other than that, keep on rocking on, sister. I would probably, if you don't have a website, I would definitely create a website, get that going. You do want to start advertising your own URL. You want to share on social media, your own website. Start to build your own business so you're not as reliant on Etsy. All right. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, I believe you're in my Flourish group, Flourish at Artisan Indie. If you are listening to this critique publicly, and I will ask Susan's permission first, you can visit www.artisanindie.com and learn more about Flourish, which is our learning craft community where we teach all of these things and more. Thank you, Susan, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.